What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 18 today of the career mode. 4 more games coming your way, including a massive game away to Barcelona in the Champions League. It's the second game of the group stage. You do not want to miss that. But to kickstart today's episode off, we've got the game against Man United away at Old Trafford. So we first have this one away at Old Trafford, and then we go over to the Nou Camp to face Barca. Things don't get much easier for this Brighton side, who at this minute, guys, are overperforming massively. I know we've got a very good squad here, don't get me wrong. The team in which that we have got is able to do what we are doing right now. But to say we're unbeaten in the league, we have scored over, is it 15 goals or something? Yeah, we scored 15 goals, only conceding 1 so far is absolutely brilliant. So just want to say, going into this game here at Old Trafford, I didn't really mind if we lost this, honestly, because the start we've had, we can afford to lose a game like this. Now, this game didn't really start the way I wanted. We struggled to really get going in the first half. Obviously, it's a difficult place to come, Old Trafford. But in the second half, I decided to make a quick change inside the 55th minute, which involved Phil Foden coming on and Pascal Gross coming off. And then, after a nice little passing move, Rabiot back to Foden. Foden in towards Mario Balotelli. And the Italian smashed it into the top corner to make it Brighton 1, Manchester United 0. Obviously, the reason I showed you that substitution of Phil Foden is because within a matter of 2 minutes, he'd come off the bench and made an assist happen. That's one thing that I wanted to highlight. This season, of this season 2 of this career mode, guys, we have such good squad depth. For the likes of Phil Foden to be able to come off the bench and create a goal from largely nowhere is sensational. And up until this point, as I said, we struggled to really get going here. It was a very tense first half. United making it very difficult for us to attack. The free-flowing football that we'd been seeing at the start of this season hadn't been as prominent in this game. So we just had to kind of clutch at straws and get what we could. And then in the 62nd minute, we put the ball out of play in order to make sure that we didn't concede. But the corner gets whipped in by Juan Mata. Up goes Paul Pogba. Frankie Brown gets all his angles wrong. And it ends up going in the back of the net to make it 1-1. So Brighton 1, Manchester United 1. Like I said, though, before going into this game, I would have quite happily said to you, I would take the loss here if it meant, of course, we could obviously beat Barcelona to come. But at the moment, it looks pretty decent in order to say that we're actually going to get at least a point or maybe more, as Odriozola found Yacine Brahimi, curled his effort goalwards, stopped by the crossbar. If it wasn't for that, we would have been winning the game 2-1, and we would have got ourselves a massive 3 points from Old Trafford. The 1-1 draw, though, I feel is still a very good result, so we can't take anything away from that. I'll still gladly accept that with both hands, no doubt about it. I feel like we did play the better of the two sides. I mean, you can see United only having the one shot there. And most of the play coming in the second half. Of course, that substitution of Phil Foden really did change the game. And I just want to say, a massive shout out to him because he made the difference there. So, out of that game, a 1-1 draw away at Old Trafford, I felt like confidence was coming. I decided that with Phil assisting that goal for Balotelli, that we would actually give him a start away to Barcelona at the Nou Camp. Now, it is still called the El Libertador because, unfortunately, I don't know why it's not known as the Nou Camp, whether or not they haven't got licensing again this year. But all I knew is that going into this game right here, when you see Barcelona's team, oh my goodness. Like, it is unreal. I mean, we've got a good team, but look at this, right? Vidal, Busquets, Sergi Samper. It would have been, of course, Artur in the midfield there instead of Sergi Samper. Messi, Suarez. Oh, just an abundance of quality players. Coutinho as well. I mean, there's just so many good ones. But then, we decided that from the offset, we were going to take the game to Barcelona. Artur's shot blocked, fell back to Mario Balotelli, who very nearly found his second goal in as many games here for us to be denied by the post. Of course, Artur making his return to Barcelona. Felipe Coutinho bursting through here. This is great, by the way, from the Brazilian, finding Luis Suarez. You can't give him that time and space in the box because all that's going to happen is that ball is going in the back of your net. So, although we hit the post early on with Mario Balotelli and could have taken the lead in this game away at the Nou Camp, I'm going to call it the Nou Camp, of course, guys. I know it's not named that in FIFA. But although that happened, we then gave away one chance and Luis Suarez took it. After all, he is one of the world's best strikers, so he will take chances when you give him them inside your box. But straight from kick-off, we were trying to get ourselves going again. A little bit of luck here as Ali Reza retains the ball, finds Brahimi. Brahimi backwards because I couldn't get the shot away in towards Rabiot. Eventually, though, gets a little bit of pocket of space here to be able to find his shot. And this time, where he hit the woodwork against Manchester United, he fired it into the back of the net against Barcelona. So we were back on level terms no more than a few minutes after Luis Suarez put the home side in front. And it was a quality strike from Yacine Brahimi on that left-hand side. Comes inside on the right foot. We're going to see this a lot this season, like I mentioned previously. The finesse shots, obviously, are a very, very good thing to use. And he's right-footed by trade, so cutting in on that right foot is obviously going to be a good position for us to be in. Second half appeared, and we were by far the better side in this one. Ali Reza bursting down the right-hand side, picked out Mario Balotelli, who for the second time in the game would hit the woodwork. He's had two now that he's seen come back off the post. It just wasn't Mario's day, unfortunately, as we go close with our Ter strike. Beaten away by Ter Stegen, corner ball Brighton, nothing coming of it in the end. And with 13 minutes to go, you take a look at this. Ollie Watkins substituted on, dinks the ball over the top for Ali Reza to fire it into the back of the net and make it Brighton 2, Barcelona 1. The reason I didn't show you as making a substitution of Ollie Watkins is that because it happened so much before this, of course. The reason I did show you Foden's is because literally 2 minutes later, he set up a goal. Whereas in this one, I think Watkins came on in like the 50th minute. And, of course, this one presented itself in the 78th minute. So we'd come from a 0-0 down at the Nou Camp in order to lead here by 2-1, having hit the woodwork twice with Mario Balotelli. But ultimately, we were getting the job done. I was really, really happy with the way we played today, especially away from home. When you got the likes of Messi on your pitch, how do you stop him? How do you stop him? I mean, this is quality. Look at that skill. Beats Kera with ease. His shot, Frankie Brown, mate, you've just done me a solid there. And with the last kick of the game, Gundogan backwards towards Tete. He found David Alaba. Alaba laid it towards Busquets. I tried to block the pass here with Ollie Watkins. In the end, sliding and took him out completely. And now we give Barcelona an opportunity to put the ball into our box, which I didn't want to have happen. At this stage, it's either going to be 3 points or the draw. I'd still take the draw at the Nou Camp. But with the last kick of the game, it was Messi over the free kick. And he was inches away from finding the top corner. Frankie Brown saw it over, though, and Brighton and Hove Albion had travelled over to Spain, to the Nou Camp, and beaten FC Barcelona by 2-1. What a result that was. Extremely proud, extremely happy of the way that we were able to conduct ourselves and play in that game. Couldn't really ask for a better result there, especially going 1-0 down to that Luis Suarez effort early on. We could have had a 4-1 win, potentially, you know, if we'd have not had the situation of hitting the woodwork a couple of times. But unfortunately, that's football. Sometimes it does happen. You get a little bit unlucky and you just have to kind of keep going and try your best in order to make it still happen for you. Brighton against Huddersfield in this one, a sim game as well. You can see right here, Mario Balotelli scored first. We went 2-1 down and Odriozola had to score late on to give us a 2-2 draw. So that could have been our first defeat of the season there. In the end, it does only count as a draw. But at home, to Huddersfield, who were bottom of the league at the time of going into that, that's a disappointing result. I just felt like we could have done a lot better. So we needed to get back to winning ways when we took on Southampton at St Mary's. 8 games, 6 wins, 2 draws, 0 defeats so far as it stood in the league. Again, largely unchanged side. Phil coming into that cam role instead of Pascal Gross. He's having a good episode so far. So I gave him the cam role on the day. And inside 9 minutes, look at this. This is a great move, by the way, as Arthur goes through to score his first Brighton and Hove Albion goal. But I wanted to highlight something. If you rewind that back, you'll see that this move actually starts off with the Brazilian in centre midfield. He plays the pass out wide to Brahimi, continues his run all the way through, and gets the return pass before firing it into the bottom corner to make it Brighton 1, Southampton 0. Really, really good team goal. Could argue the keeper should have done a little bit better with that one, but, you know, when we're that close to goal, you are expecting us to score. If we didn't score there, I'd be bitterly disappointed. And so I was quite glad to see the ball go in the back of the net. Vinicius Jr. trying to set us up for the second goal. We really should have got it here. Nice skill, feeding Mario. And unfortunately, couldn't get a clear strike on it to score another goal. He's now hit, guys, 7 goals in his last 8 games when you're including this game here. So if he can get another one, that's 8 in 8. But the man to score our second was this little beauty, Phil Foden. You've got to say, he's going to have to get the player of the episode today, isn't he? He's having a stormer so far. Came off the bench to assist in the Manchester United game. Played against Barcelona at the Nou Camp last time out. Grabs himself a goal here at St Mary's to make it 2-0 and wrap up a 2-0 victory. Brighton and Hove Albion continue their unbeaten start to the season. And in terms of that one, and they are now 9 games gone, still unbeaten. In fact, that means now that Mario Balotelli has scored 7 in 9. So he is by far the top scorer at this current time. In fact, no, 8 in 9, because he got one against Huddersfield, didn't he? Yeah, so 8 in 9 is currently what Mario Balotelli is sat on, which is good, fantastic, especially when you consider we brought him in for free. I did say he would do bits this season, and I was right by standing by that, because he has come in and he's done bits. You know, last season, we only had one player who got into double figures, and that was Florian Andone. He was the only player last year in this Brighton side that managed to reach 10 goals. Whereas you compare that to this year, Mario Balotelli is already on 8, and we are only 9 games in. So, again, it's looking pretty good in terms of how the showing is going, as that one rhymes there. We've got the last game of the episode, though, back in the Champions League, AEK Athens at the Amex. Now, I actually looked at this and I thought to myself, we can't disrespect them in any way, shape or form. They've drawn against Barcelona, so clearly they're a decent side. Now, I only have one problem here, and this is one thing that I hope sincerely something is done about this, because the referees in this game are a joke. You take a look at this and let me know what you guys think. I think this is a blatant penalty. The defender here inside the box is clearly has no intention of trying to win that ball. He's body blocked Ryan Sessegnon, and for me, that's a stonewall penalty. So he didn't get it, and that already put me in a little bit of a bad mood. So I was playing already pretty badly here, and overall, we just had a really, really shocking game. We made a mistake at the back, and we gave AEK Athens the opening goal of this one inside the 66th minute. They'd done absolutely nothing until this point as well. Hadn't even had a shot up until this stage. And the first thing that we do is give them a chance, and they score it. So I felt we were a little bit hard done by, honestly. We should have had a penalty. Didn't get it. Then we concede that goal there. So honestly, at this point, I was thinking to myself, I can't believe we're going to go on to lose this game. But I was wrong, because we got ourselves back into it. Ali Reza bursting through before firing his effort into the bottom corner to make the score 1-1. And it was a really nice finish as well, under a little bit of pressure there. First time from Ali Reza. It's what you like to see. So we were only behind for 6 minutes. And then we got another opportunity. There was just holes just appearing in the AEK Athens backline. I don't know what happened to them. Maybe they felt like they could have got something more out of this. Vinicius Jr. Oh my God. When this happened, I nearly put my controller down. We shoot, hits the bar, it comes back, we have a bicycle kick, hits the bar. How unlucky can you get? Seriously. This game was feeling like it was just one of those days. But then, with 3 minutes to go, Pascal Gross picked up the ball from the edge of the area and curled us in front to make the score 2-1. And essentially, avoid any embarrassment. Because in that game there, like I mentioned, AEK Athens had absolutely nothing. They didn't even shoot. We gave them one opportunity, they took it. And I was thinking to myself, if that's the way we lose this game, I'm going to feel pretty stupid. But we didn't end up losing it. We came back to win it by 2-1. So for the second time in the Champions League today, we've come back from a 0 down. We came back from a 0 down against Barca, and then we've done it here against AEK Athens, who, like I said, we can't disrespect. They're a good side. They drew with Barcelona, so clearly they've got their wits about them and know how to play against a bigger side. So feel a little bit unlucky for them, actually, because they might actually not get themselves out of this Champions League group. And when you consider they played well against Barca, they were winning this game here. You know, there's a lot to take positively for them. For us, though, if we had have lost that, that would have been a joke. Should have had a penalty, hit the woodwork twice in the same sequence. You know, just largely it was a pretty bad day at the office. But like I've said before, the highlight of a good team is when you're playing bad, you still get the result. And we did that today. So 4 games, 3 wins, 1 draw in there as well against, obviously, Manchester United. 5 games if you include the sim game against Newcastle, another draw. Huddersfield, I should say. And they've actually climbed themselves off the bottom side of the table now on 7 points. And that's how the league table currently looks. So we are 3 points ahead of Burnley, still undefeated in the league. And in terms of our Champions League group, as I'm about to show you, just pop up here, we have 3 wins from 3 so far, having beaten Marseille 3-0 on the opening day. 2-1 against Barca, 2-1 against AEK Athens. So I think it's safe to say I'm pretty confident we're going through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League. Of course, we'll still see if that's going to be the case in the next episode. If you did enjoy this one, though, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you so much for all of your support on the channel. There was no video yesterday because I had to go to the hospital with my dad, but all is good now, so don't worry about it, guys. Thank you for all the messages as well yesterday on that community section post. Until next time, if you are new around here and like what you see, the subscribe button is down below. Click that and follow me. And I'll see you all again for another episode very, very soon in the series. Till next time, adios.